Thank goodness we are finally, our nation has turned its attention to autism as something that needs a lot more research. And it's already clear that the earlier you can intervene with people with autism, probably the bigger impact you're going to have. But the fact is that children with autism grow up to be adults with autism. It really is a lifelong disorder. And especially in the United States, and especially in a state like Georgia, it's basically the family's problem. And this applies even to very talented people with autism. I have a number of patients that I follow that have, kind of intellectually demanding jobs in white collar areas, but who have tremendous trouble negotiating day-to-day social interactions and really depend on mom and dad still for their kind of getting by in life. And sadly, many people end up very lonely. Agitation and aggression is a huge issue. I consulted with a family where one of the parents had a degenerative neurological disorder, walked with a cane, and the person with autism was this big burly man, could have been a football player, and he had a tendency to get agitated. Well, that's a pretty dangerous situation, and it's pretty heartbreaking to hear a dad say, doctor, look, 10 years ago, when he was half his size and I was twice my strength, we could handle this. I can't handle this anymore. I think another kind of huge issue involving the families of people, of especially adults, both children and adults, but perhaps especially adults with autism, is kind of the enormous strain that it puts on caretakers. I'm thinking of a person who was so grateful to us at the Autism Center because we were able to help her get a little bit of help in the home, through the Medicaid and so on, so that she could go to church. Her adult child with autism, you couldn't get that person to sit through the service, and for this person, this was a very important part of her life, that to be able to go to church on Sundays, that's a big deal. Another example of this is toilet training. We say toilet training, that's a big deal. Why should a doctor be thinking about toilet training? You try changing the diaper of somebody who's 25 years old. Do it once, and I guarantee you will be convinced that this is a really, really important issue. There are actually specialized services at the Emory Autism Center focused on toilet training. Even a partial success can make an enormous difference in the quality of life of the families as well as the person with autism. We do have an adult program, a program for adults with autism. It's coordinated by Tony Thomas, who's a psychologist who works at the center. We offer pharmacologic evaluation in my clinic. I'm in the clinic 1 day a week. There are several programs oriented toward helping adults with autism improve their social skills. One wonderful program that's actually kind of connected with a larger national network on college campuses is something called the Best Buddies program, where Emory college student volunteers will kind of on a one-to-one level become a best buddy of a person with autism and engage them in normal social interactions. Well, I'm very pleased that I get to give a lecture every year to the medical students now about adults with autism, and the medical students here at Emory are hearing about this because it's a really important issue. Both quality of life and even from a medical point of view, from an infectious disease point of view, this is a big deal.
The preceding program is copyrighted by Emory University.